What are they and where do they come from? So what is a textile? Textiles are usually fabrics, so cloth, but they are always made of fibres, and this is what fibres look like. What is a fibre then? A fibre is long and thin. We could say one of your hairs is a fibre. Most fibres are a lot finer than your hair, and it is sometimes hard to see one by itself. It looks like a piece of fluff. So what objects are textiles? Well, your clothing, sportswear, all your bedding, like pillowcases and sheets, and almost anything in your house that is soft will be a textile. Learn more about fibres. Where do these fibres come from? So if you think fibres look like fluff quite a lot, where could we get fluff from? We collect these fluffy fibres from plants. Sometimes the flower might be fluffy in the case of the cotton plant, or you might use the fibres from the stalks of the plant. If you think about when you eat celery, all those fibres that get stuck in your teeth, other plants are like that, and we can collect those fibres. From animals, we would usually use the hair or the wool of the animal. So sheep wool is one type. You can also get it from Angora rabbits, from alpacas, from llamas, camels, and you can make it from human hair if you really wanted to. We can also make fibres using chemicals that we get from crude oil. So the same thing that we make petrol or gasoline out of. We can react those chemicals together to form little chains of plastic, and these are called fibres as well. We have got cotton, linen, and some other plant-based ones like jute, hemp, bamboo that you might have seen in socks, and there's many others. In the yellow box, the animal-based fibres, so wool, silk, that's an expensive fibre, and other animal hair like alpaca or Angora rabbit. For synthetic fibres, we have polyester, which is used in clothing a lot because it's cheap. Nylon, not as comfortable as polyester, but it's really tough. Elastane, which you would know as Lycra, the brand name. That's used in swimming costumes, in skinny jeans, in leggings, basically in anything that needs to stretch to get your body into it and then stretch back so it looks skin tight. You'll find that there is elastane in there. Acrylic, which is kind of a fake wool, it's quite warm. And Kevlar, which is really strong, and we use that in body armour, bulletproof vests. In the third category, regenerated, the one that you would probably have to know is viscose, also known as rayon in the USA. And viscose is made from wood chips that are dissolved, basically. And you'll find that in tops and dresses, and they hang really nicely, but they also pill really easily, so that means that they get those annoying little bobbles on them.
Hi, it's Laura Bray, and now we will learn the running stitch. There are two ways you can do the running stitch. One is called the stab method of embroidery, and what that entails is bringing your needle up and down in the fabric at intervals that are fairly equal to each other, just making one stitch at a time. This is a great method for a beginner, embroiderer, or a small child who's just learning embroidery. The other method is called the sewing method, and what that involves is bringing your embroidery needle up, but then bringing it down and up, just dipping up and down and staying over the top of the fabric and pulling it through every so many stitches. It's a much quicker method, but as I said, it takes a little more coordination and it's better for an older child or a more advanced stitcher. That's the running stitch. You'll be using this stitch to finish the back of your Leo the Lion project. This is a simple stitch and one that's great for beginners. You can stitch almost any embroidery pattern using a back stitch. It's perfect for outlining and getting around corners, as well as doing straight lines and text. As with any embroidery stitch, you typically start from the back of the hoop, bring your needle up, and then bring it down about 1/4 inch. And you have your first stitch. Now for the tricky part. You need to kind of eyeball and figure out another 1/4 of an inch out from your first stitch. Bring the needle up and then bring it back through the end of your last stitch. You then continue stitching along, hopefully in a straight line. Like so. For beginners and children, sometimes